just sitting there listening, and finally he looked at me and goes, do me too.
Okay.
What did you do?
Okay,
What did you do?
ladies,
What did you do? No.
I'm sorry, we gotta get started, and I have to be on time, and I'm already 2 minutes over. So, let me just start by introducing myself. My name is Norman Joseph. I'm one of the acting managers here. What we're kind of gonna do is, for the people that were here the last time, we're gonna kind of recap the reason why we're doing that, because they want to get it on tape so the other agents that can't seem to get here in the morning can have the opportunity to look at it. So, what we're doing is trying to enhance or increase our productiveness on the phones in the morning. So I'm just going to give you basically what works for me and kind of over the years what I was able to put together and to be effective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up into 2 parts. The first part is going to be key elements when working with a script and common conversation hurdles that you may run into and how to overcome those. So let's get started. The first thing that I do or I notice when I'm getting on the phone, let's talk about time real quick. As far as getting on the phones, I find the most effective times to get on the phone is from 8:30 to about 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock. During the day, you try to get people when they're home, so those are the best times I've found to do that. In the evening, I usually get on the phone about 6:30, and I'll go to 8:30 if I'm not satisfied with the amount of appointments that I have booked, so 8:30. On the weekends, the most effective time I found was Saturday mornings. About the same time, about 8:30 to 12. You find that people are more relaxed or more personable on the phone on Saturdays, and the same time in the evening on Saturday as well. Sunday might be a little tricky. I try not to, but if I'm not satisfied with the amount of appointments that I have during a week, I will do Sunday from about 6 to 7:30, okay? Go any longer than that, you risk the possibility of you getting cursed out. So that's what I've found, but those are the times. We know basically no matter what you say on the phone, it's all about when you say it, okay? What time in the morning, you know, naturally you don't want to speak to 50 or 60 answering machines on the phone. There's conversation back and forth between agents, especially seasoned agents, on whether or not you should leave a voicemail. Some agents say, well, if you leave a voicemail, they know it's your phone number, they'll recognize it and they won't answer the phone. And then I've had success where I might leave 30 or 40 voicemails and I'll get 1 return call, and that's probably an 80 or 90% success rate. So I'll leave it up to your discretion whether or not you want to leave a voicemail. I'm going to leave that up to you folks. As I know, no matter, now these key elements that I'm going to go over, it really kind of works with any script that you may use. I notice in this business there's more than one way to be successful, so I'm not going to say one script is better than the other. I'm just going to kind of give you some guidelines or some focus points that I feel that are effective and to be most effective on the phone. The first thing is you have about 10 seconds to capture their attention, so I would say get to the point. A lot of the times, you know, my name is Norman Joseph. I'm from Cornerstone Tax and Wealth Advisory Group. How are you today? In that first 10 seconds, first of all, they feel like, okay, get to the point, what do you want? Or why are you calling me? Or, you know, what's going on here? They're kind of confused because, first of all, they don't recognize the number, and second of all, they don't recognize your voice. So in that 10-second of time, there's a high risk that you might get hung up on the phone. They might hang up on you. So what I try to do is get everything out. But the first thing I try to do is be apologetic for interrupting whatever they were doing. You know, if they were just sitting on the couch watching soap operas, I try to be apologetic. So I'll say, hi, my name is Norman, my apologies. The reason why I'm calling is because you had, I'm just calling to make sure you had a card in the mail about a week or so ago regarding Medicare benefits. So right there, I'm getting right to the point. I identified myself, and what I'll try to do is, in the beginning, before I say that, let me back up. I'll identify the person, whether it's Mrs. Jones or Mr. Jones. Now, here's the thing. I always will assume that if the male answers the phone, it's who I'm looking for, if I'm looking for a male, or if the female answers the phone, it's who I'm looking for, if I'm looking for a female. The reason why I do that is because if you don't, if a female answers the phone, 9 times out of 10 that is Mrs. Jones, but I say, hi, can I speak to Mrs. Jones? Now, you give her an opportunity to play the game like she's not here and she actually is her. You see what I'm saying? I've had that many times. So I'll say, hey, Mrs. Jones. Okay, you caught me. I am Mrs. Jones. Now, what do you want? Now, we kind of take it down from there. So a lot of the times, and I guess just me, my personality, I try to cut right to the chase and I feel like their time is valuable just as much as ours is. So what I do is cut right to the chase on that. Confirm who you are, confirm who you're talking to, be apologetic. My apologies. Hey, Mrs. Jones, the reason why I'm calling is, okay? Next thing is state your purpose. The reason why I'm calling is you got a card in the mail about a week or so ago regarding Medicare benefits. I might say something like, I know you're getting a lot of stuff in the mail. Is that right? The reason why I say that is because I'm trying to be sympathetic to everybody else calling them. They're getting stuff in the mail. It's becoming more confusing for them by the day. Where they thought something was just simple, cut and dry, now they're getting confused. Blue Cross Blue Shield, AARP, Physicians Mutual, all these companies are sending them stuff. We're not the only game in town, so I might be the 10th agent that week that called them. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be apologetic, but I'm also trying to set myself apart away from the other agents. I'm a little bit different, so what I'll try to do is put a little more personality into it. Try to stay away from sounding like a telemarketer, because if you sound like a telemarketer, what? You get treated like one, right? So the reason why I'm calling is you got a card in the mail. I know you're getting a lot of stuff in the mail. Is that right? Well, I might throw in a joke and say, well, it seems like everybody in South Carolina knows you're turning 65. Is that right? A little chuckle. Try to bring some levity to the conversation, you know, and also be sympathetic and apologetic as well. And then right after that, I'll kind of raise my voice. I will do a crescendo. And what I'll say is, the reason why I'm calling is, and by me raising that voice or that inflection, what I'm trying to do is set myself apart from everybody else that called. Because if I don't, what I'm doing is I'm just putting myself in that pool or putting myself in that category of everybody else. So basically, she's going to treat me like everybody else. I've had very good success where I've gone to a house, like we went to yesterday with Danielle, and they've had people buy the house, they've had people call, they've had people send stuff in the mail. And we call, we get in the house, and we sell. Why? Because we set ourselves apart from everybody else. 9 times out of 10, we're offering the same products. It's just that we're more effective on the phone and more effective in the house. So we're able to do that. And it starts by being effective on the phone, because you can't get to the house unless you're effective on the phone. So you really got to set yourself apart. Identify the products and services. So I say, well, you know, let me go down the line here. Okay, well, we have products and services that assist with your Medicare, that offers certain benefits such as dental, vision, eyeglasses, help with prescription drugs. Now, I'll say those things, but I'm not going to be specific to any company. I'm just saying those things in general. And the reason why I kind of hit those hot points, because most healthcare plans offer major healthcare. But the real gems in those healthcare is dental. The real gems is vision. The real gems are eyeglasses. Those are the things that not only Medicare doesn't offer, but most products doesn't offer unless you pay additional costs. Now, we all know we have a product that offers all of those things. But I'm not going to be specific. I'm just going to label them individually. And I'll say, after I say dental, vision, eyeglasses, help with prescription drugs, notice I'm hitting all those points. And then what I'll say immediately after that is, did anybody help you with that? And I actually put that in capital letters because I feel that's the pivotal point in the conversation where I'm going to find out what I need to know as far as what they have. And then not only am I going to find out what I need to know as far as what they have, then now I know which direction to go in. So now they can come back and say to me, well, I'm still working, or I have Blue Cross Blue Shield State or Blue Cross Blue Shield Federal, or we have VA, or whatever the case. So now I'm giving them an opportunity to talk. But notice I didn't give them an opportunity to talk until I identified my products, I identified who I was apologetic, and I actually told them why I'm calling. So I get all of those things out in about 10 seconds or so. I know I might talk a little fast, but I'm very emphatic. So what I try to do is enunciate my words correctly so they can definitely understand that even though I'm talking fast, I'm getting it all out. Okay? And that's the thing you have to do. You have to get it all out within a 10 or 15 seconds of time. Because if you don't, what's happening? Okay? What is happening is they're just thinking about how to get you off the phone. Right? Another thing I want to talk about is to think about how to get you off the phone is don't be indecisive. be conversational. Don't be indecisive. Say, I've heard some agents say, well, you know, I hope you have, do you have time? You know, perhaps I can come by. I try to stay away from those words. For me, they're too indecisive, maybe wishy-washy, okay? If you're too indecisive, what are you giving them permission to do? You're giving them permission to be indecisive as well. Now you're going back and forth and you're never getting a definitive answer or getting an appointment for that matter. So you want to be emphatic, state your business, state exactly what you're trying to do, and hopefully you'll have success. Be specific. If you're indecisive, we went over that. Be conversational. Don't read from a script. Especially new people, new agents that we have come in. They're so focused on reading the script, trying to get everything in there, that they forget the essence of this business. We deal with people. It's personality. You got to come across. Be personable. Kind of like how you would talk to a family member or talk to a real good friend. You know, that's how you got to come across over the phone. Not only is that going to resonate with the person you're talking to, but that's also going to set you aside from all the other agents that are calling as well. But not only that, you can be conversational, you can be personable, and still get your point across too. So you want a little interaction, and you want them to feel like, hey, I'm talking to somebody who really cares about me, not somebody who's just trying to book an appointment, right? Next thing, slow down. That's me. I get told that all the time by clients, by other agents that I go out with, and maybe that's just me. I don't know if it's the New York in me or whatever, but no, it's probably the ADD. But other than that, you know, if you don't take a medication for it, you really don't have it. So it's just a matter of me trying to slow down. But I do slow down on the phone. Maybe not in person, but I do slow down on the phone. The first 10 seconds, like I said, I'm trying to get everything in. But then once I, you know, feel that I have them, what I want to try to do is kind of slow down and kind of take it more into a conversational call rather than I'm just trying to sell them something over the phone. So slow down. As far as the script is concerned, what I would recommend is whatever script you're using, kind of crystallize it and hit those key points. One of my key points I feel is not only be apologetic, but did anyone help you with that? I always make sure that I say that if I don't say anything else, because that's going to let me know where to pivot from there. But be conversational and slow down. Don't read from the script. Take the script home, go home, study it, and then incorporate it into your own personality. Okay? So if you have the script in front of you and you're on the phone, that's a problem. Okay? A lot of my agents, what I do, especially the new one, I'll take the script away and say, now let's talk. Right? Okay. Do I say cornerstone and not? Okay, a lot of agents I walk through and I hear, they say, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm from Cornerstone Wealth and Tax Advisory Group, okay? We took out the tax and we just had Wealth Advisory Group. Does anyone know why we did that? A lot of people were getting confused and thought we were a tax office, okay? I actually Googled Cornerstone in South Carolina and I got 3.3 million hits. Do you know how many companies out there that use the word Cornerstone just in Somerville? Matter of fact, there is a Cornerstone Wealth Advisory Group right by Cane Bay.
Cornerstone Insurance.
Cornerstone Insurance, there you go. So we don't want to get confused because if you say that, what are they thinking? Are you the church? Are you that other place? Are you this? Are you that? So now they're not really listening. They're just trying to identify the company you're calling from. And a lot of times they're not sure or they never heard of you. Now they're just trying to figure out, how do I get this person off the phone? I'm not really listening. Of course, if they ask you later on in the conversation, so what company you're with? Yeah, I'm with Cornerstone Wealth Advisory Group in Somerville, but I'm licensed and we offer a lot of products and services that can help you or assist you with your Medicare. So I kind of take it one step further and make that an entire sentence, not just say I'm Cornerstone Wealth Advisory Group. You know what? We're a big company and we're growing, but a lot of people out there haven't heard of us yet. You know, so what you want to try to do is identify why you're calling, who's Cornerstone, and what does Cornerstone have to offer. What Cornerstone has to offer is probably more important than what the name is, wouldn't you say? So that's the direction that I take on that. I'm sorry, my screensaver keeps blackening out my screen. Okay. Confirm what they have and what they want. Okay, that's very important too. I kind of close once I realize that I have my appointment and I've also booked my day. Here's another things that it seems like a lot of people on the phone, they'll try to dodge really booking a definitive appointment. Oh, I got a doctor's appointment. I don't know why people think a doctor's appointment is going to take 24 hours. I got a doctor's appointment at 11. What do I say? Okay, that means you'll be home about 2, right? Okay, I got a doctor's appointment at 12. You're going to be home about 3. Okay, because my objective is to actually book that appointment. So what I'm going to do is, oh, my daughter's coming in and we're going out to lunch. Okay, so I'm going to be back up in your area on Wednesday, or I'm going to be back up in your area on Thursday. I will keep going until I pin them down to something. Now, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll say, call me before you come. Basically what that means is, I'm not going to be home. Okay, usually what that means. So what I'll do is I'll say, Mrs. Jones, you know what, I'll give you a call, but put me down in your calendar for 2 o'clock, okay? So what I'll do, I'll go to her house at 2 o'clock, and maybe I called her, maybe I forgot to call her, maybe I was in a bad area. You know, my thing is, if you really don't want to see me, I'd rather you tell me to my face than tell me over the phone, that sort of thing. Or you go by the house and she's home anyway, even though she told you she wasn't gonna be. You know, so you really don't want to play the game too much, so you want to try to pin them down to a definitive appointment. But a lot of times you're going to run into some hurdles, which you can use these points here to overcome. Here's one of my most important things. When I first started Cornerstone, you can ask any of the senior agents, I used to burn up gas like it was going out of style. I used to burn up gas like it was water. And I would drive, I told the story about me being in Orangeburg and being in Myrtle Beach in the same day. That's crazy, okay? So what you want to do is you want to be effective. Your time is just as valuable as anything else. And the most emphatic way to be effective is to really crystallize that appointment over the phone, find out as much information as you need. I was getting ready to say, when I close going back to what I was saying, just before I closed the call and I definitively booked my appointment, what I want to try to say is, okay, Mrs. Jones, just so I make sure I bring the right information, you do have Medicare A and B. And I'll stress A and B. You don't know how many times I went to the house and they just had Part A. Okay? You know we need both for basically anything that we offer. Make sure they have product A and B. What else do you show the hospital and doctors besides your Medicare card? Okay? Rather than saying, do you have Blue Cross Blue Shield or do you have Care Improvement Plus, I'll say, what else? Let them tell you. Okay? So that's why you can kind of get more information, because the last thing you want to do is waste your time. Now, suppose if I call them up and they say, well, you know what? I have Blue Cross Blue Shield State, or I have Blue Cross Blue Shield Federal. Okay, that's fine. I think that's a good plan. You should stay with it, and I wouldn't recommend that you change it. But a lot of our clients that we sit down with, what we do is we do a free life insurance review. And here's what we found. And then you can kind of go into, like I list examples of things that I found, or examples of things that you found. But notice how I transitioned, and notice how I said the word free life insurance review. And automatically assume that they have life insurance. Because if you don't, after you finish saying what they say, after you finish saying what you said, they'll say, no, I already have life insurance, thank you. Because in their mind, they're thinking you're trying to sell them life insurance. So what I do is I say, hey, Mrs. Jones, you know what? I know you have life insurance, but most of the clients I sit down with have it too, but here's what I found. So now you already disprove the fact that they don't have life insurance. You know they do, okay? They know they do. Now, it's a wonderful thing on this earth if they don't have it, like the gentleman yesterday. He didn't have any life insurance at all. Matter of fact, when we get out of here, I want to talk to his daughter about that, but very rare. I think I can probably count on 2 hands since I've been here how many times I ran into people that had none. And usually they've had it and they've lost it for whatever reason. But most of the time you need to assume that they have life insurance. So what I'll do, and I actually have a few minutes, I'm going to tap into that because I think it's important, because not all the time can you set up a health insurance appointment over the phone because of whatever reason, the Blue Cross Blue Shield State, Federal, whatever reason. So what you want to do before you label that phone conversation as dead, you want to find out if there's an interest in life insurance. Now, of course, there's other products and services that we sell besides those two. But me personally, if there's no need for life insurance and there's no need for health insurance, I'll label that call as dead. I'm not going to waste my time driving to that person's house. Okay? Somebody else might do that, another agent might do that. Well, there might be an annuity there might be something else there. Me, I'm looking at a list of probably 490 people. I'm not going to waste my time driving to that house. As far as I'm concerned, that's red, it's off the list, I go to the next one. My time is valuable, so I keep it moving. Okay? As far as life insurance, I'll say, you know what, Mrs. Jones, what we found when we've sat down and did free life insurance reviews is we found people that have life insurance think they have whole life and they have term. Or it expires at a certain time. Or all of a sudden the premiums start going up and they don't know why. Or they borrowed money in the past and were told they didn't have to pay it back. Or they just had the policy for so long, they've paid more into the policy than what it's worth. Mrs. Jones, how long have you had your policy? Really? You got a $20,000 policy? How long have you been paying on it? That sort of thing. How long have you been paying on it? How much is the premium? So now I start asking questions. And the reason why I kind of gave myself permission to ask those questions, because when I labeled all of those things that I ran into, one of those things probably either resonates with them personally or resonates in their mind with something else that they've experienced with another person. So I try to hit all of those points to gain curiosity, but also gain interest as to what I'm going to say next. And I always use that transition, and I tell you, it works probably 70 or 80% of the time. Okay? So a lot of times you can go into a Blue Cross Blue Shield state house and write life insurance. Or you can go into a Care Improvement Plus house and write life insurance, and somebody else wrote the Care Improvement Plus, probably not from our company. So those are the two things that I hit. Just because we're calling with the focus of healthcare on the phone doesn't mean that phone call is dead. Okay? There's a couple of things I want to go over, pitfalls that we run into, and I want this to be an open session, so just kind of yell it out or raise your hands. Hi, I have TRICARE for Life, I'm all set. Anyone?
TRICARE is an excellent program. You're covered, it's one of the best that's out there.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest changing that. We also dabble in other areas with Cornerstone.
Okay.
From healthcare to investments to life insurance. So you have life insurance, and how long have you been paying on that? You roll it into something else.
Absolutely, absolutely. I used to, in the beginning, oh, okay, that's great, I don't think you should change it, you have a nice day. A lot of times they're figuring, okay, I just finalized this phone call by telling them that, now it's time to get off the phone. If you can get that in, that's wonderful. Anyone else? Next one. I go to the VA to get all my health care and prescription drugs.
Well, I have a wonderful program that can help you save money with over-the-counter products.
Okay.
If you can't use it, I'm sure someone in your family can.
I love it.
It doesn't interfere with your VA benefits at all.
Anyone else? Yes? Okay.
Well, just talking about the VA, I've done a lot of research with that, and the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars, they strongly encourage all vets that are using VA benefits to also get a Medicare Advantage plan just as a backup.
Right.
And they're pushing it.
Right, and in certain instances, that Medicare Advantage plan might not cost them anything.
Exactly.
So that's.
Well, the VA hospital isn't exactly close either.
Right,
So
and a lot of times
somebody wants to see a local doctor
Right,
would get on an Advantage plan or something like that, so they have that option.
right, and a lot of times what I'll say to them, you know what, the VA is great, you have your VA card, but if you want to use civilian benefits that are closer and sometimes easier access, I have something that can help you with that. So I'll say civilian benefits, they kind of like that term.
And also, as far as the care improvement with VA, I ran into a gentleman that the VA would not fill a prescription that
Wow.
had been written from an outside doctor. So also the care improvement for the prescription benefits someone. And care improvement also has veterans assistance with their advocates package.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if they're a VA, you can write either a Humana, when we could write them, or you can write a Care Improvement Plus. It really doesn't matter. And a lot of time, in some cases, it's even a zero premium or a very low cost. So always bring that to their attention. Don't let them just kind of sideline you just because they feel that they have VA benefits. Let them know, hey, you're missing out on so much more. Okay. I'm not going to retire for another year or two. I'm still working. Anyone?
Well, I'd say, well, great, that'll give us time to sit down, figure out your retirement, make
Mhm.
sure that you have everything that
Right.
you need when you're ready to retire.
Okay.
I'll
Um,
ask them if they're gonna continue with their employer's insurance, because a lot of time their employers will not continue it once they are
Yes.
eligible for Medicare.
You're absolutely right. I was just getting ready to say that. Or a lot of times they might say, I'm still working, and they're working part-time, and they don't even have benefits. You know? Yes, ma'am.
I think I would ask them if they have a separate or private life insurance
Yes.
outside of their employer, because once they leave, their employer might not let them take the life insurance with them.
That's an excellent point. Always, when in doubt, or when you're not getting any results, I say always pivot to what I call the life insurance presentation over the phone. It's a little more distilled, but you never want to lose out an opportunity. There's so many times where I struck out in healthcare, and I might, talk about life insurance and come to find out they don't have any. Or I was looking for some, that sort of thing. So, I already have a supplement on a Medicare Advantage plan.
Great, is it giving you all the benefits that you are looking for?
Right.
Would you? I
Who would
mean,
you go with? Yeah.
They may have, something that doesn't offer dental, and they would prefer to have dental, and make sure they're on the right plan.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, that was one of mine yesterday.
Yeah.
They were on a care improvement, but they were eligible for a different one that had extra benefits. So it was a change, so they were happy because they stayed on care improvement. Nothing changed there, but they got a better benefit package, so.
Absolutely.
And I got in the house simply because in the conversation, I said, it sounds like you're on this plan and it sounds like you're eligible for this one. So can I come talk to you and see if that's true?
Wow, you are doing big things.
And it got me in
Absolutely.
the house and it did get the sales.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Last one, and I get this a lot. Calling Mr. Jones, oh, my wife handles all that and she's not here right now, or she's still working. She's at work. My wife handles all of that. Or my husband handles all that and he's not here right now.
What are her days off?
Exactly. Usually, what I say is, I called the guy the other day. My wife handles all that. She's not here right now. She's working. Oh, okay. Does she have health insurance on her job? Well, I think she does. Are you covered under her health care plan? Yes, I am. Do you know if she's going to continue to work for the rest of the year? Try to get some more information out of him. It just seems like, I don't understand these men. My wife handles all that. I'm like, if your wife left you, what would you stand in the corner? You wouldn't know what to do. Anyway, strike that. These men, my wife handles all that. Take some control in your household. Anyway. So, yes. I hope you guys are able to take this information. Like I said, there's more than one way of how to make this happen. Yes,
I
ma'am?
do have a question.
Yes.
Once you're on the phone, you've determined there's really nothing that you can do,
Okay.
but you've booked this appointment. How do you gracefully get out of it?
I don't book it. But that's a good question. If I determine that there's nothing if I determine that there's nothing to do, I don't book the appointment because I'm not going to waste my time. I did that in the past. I'm not
Okay,
going to do that.
But
if
I'm
you're-
following your progression. You said you will book it, then get more detail.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. Okay. So I book the appointment. I get more detail. Okay. Now, after further investigation, like if I find out she only has Part A, she's not interested in life insurance. Well, Mrs. Jones, it seems like you're pretty much set. I don't really think there's anything I can do for you, but here's my number. If you could think of something, give me a call. I don't know if you want to call it weaseling out an appointment, but I just
Gracefully?
yes, ma'am, gracefully bow out. There you go. I just don't book the appointment. I've done that before, and it leads to burned up gas and disappointment. And also morale too. So, you know what? There's enough people that we can call that you can book an effective day, and I'm glad you brought that up. You don't want to be the agent that has 17 or 18 appointments, and Friday you're calling out $600. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that agent.
Would you not maybe at least see if there's family members? 'Cause
You
a lot
could.
of times there's someone else living in the house that may.
Right, and like I said, there's more than one way to do this business, and you could talk to any agent, or any agent can tell you, hey, that person makes $4,000 or $5,000 a week, but you're all, the premise is don't leave money on the table, but almost inevitably you're gonna and not even know it. Okay, it's just that kind of deal in quality as well as quantity, okay? So, you know, and I think that's important. 17 or 18 appointments is phenomenal. Let's get to 21. But you want the majority of those appointments to be quality, to be effective. You don't want to be 18 appointments and $600. You know, if I'm going to be running around 18 appointments, what are you going to go through? About what? You're going to put in about a 30-hour week, 40-hour week, and you're going to burn up about 2 tanks of gas. After you factor all that in, what did you make? Probably below minimum wage, right? After taxes, right? Okay, so if you think of it like that, you want to be most effective out there in the field. As far as I want to be a surgeon. Okay, I want to have, you know, obviously the goal is 18 or 19 appointments, but if I only have 8 or 9 appointments, I want those 8 or 9 appointments, when I walk in the house, I'm walking out and making a decent income. So after the end of the week, I can have 8 appointments and make $3 grand. Okay, so quality and quantity is just as important side by side. So imagine if you have 18 to 21 appointments, but they're on point where you have 18 appointments and 13 of them you sold something, 15 of them you sold something. Now you're looking at $4 or $5 grand a week, and look at all the people that you help as well. Okay, you want to maximize your time in the house as well. You know, somebody, you know, you're talking to Mrs. Jones, and you see a kid run up the stairs. Oh, by the way, you know, we have some child policies too. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of every opportunity in the house. Also, too, we have the LIS programs, we have the QI programs, they're in the document server, use those. You'd be surprised of how much business that can open up. Okay, was told not to go past, I'm 3 minutes past. Thank you, folks. Have a good day. Any questions, please see me upstairs. And it's Amber. Okay.
Is she here?